Thank you. This is Sarah Malish, the Chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'll call the Zoning Board of Appeals to order at 7:01 p.m. on Wednesday, May 17th. I have with me tonight Jim Dietrich, James Mitchell, Catherine Howe, and Brian Salas. We will be switching the order of the applications because the first applicants are not here yet. Okay, so we will start the application of Ellen Smith. And the way this works is that you will present your project. Then we will ask questions. Then we'll ask if any members of the public wish to be recognized. Then we'll discuss it and hopefully reach a decision.
And just so you guys know, there are people from the internet that could also comment. It's open, so it's not, we have to open it to them as well. When we open, so won't be surprised if there's someone talking and you're like, that's fine.
Okay. With that, I will open the public hearing to the application of Ellen Smith for a special permit under sections 4.2.E5, 2.0, and 12.5.2 of the zoning bylaw, and or other relief as may be necessary for the installation of a 15-foot by 30-foot gunite swimming pool with an automatic pool cover and fence of 1318 County Way, Assessors Map number 13, lot number 11 in District A, filed with the town clerk on March 28, 2023. So if you would like to present the application, please state your name.
Up here, or do we just, or sit, or?
You can do either.
Well, my name is Michael Oakes, and I never, so whatever, I might be a little bad at it, but I built Ellen a pool previously in Wenham, and she's moved to your town, so she'd like another one. I own Bayrock Pools, who's a company that would like to do it. I believe, I mean, we, as in the drawing or whatever the plot plan. So existing coverage right now is 3,618 square feet. We would like to add 580 square feet to that, making a total of 4,198. And the lot size right now is 39,560. So I had spoken to the,
19,120, right?
what's that?
19,000.
And none of these numbers are.
39,560.
You said 4,000.
Combined both lots. They did them both together.
What do you mean?
There was originally, I don't know if you have, so you know, if you look at this, if you look at this,
Okay,
originally it was two.
okay. The application is incorrect.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're looking at the
thank you.
application.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so originally there was two, and we were gonna do it on just the one, but they combined them all into one big lot.
Okay,
I think didn't Gail say to go with that
Yeah.
19,000 number?
Yeah, well, either way, so we went with the 39,560, right? And at that, I was told by the building inspector that the maximum lot coverage was 30%.
Sure.
And currently it's at 9.1%. And once we would add the pool, it would make it at 10.5%.
okay.
Yeah.
So we're,
Look at this.
Well, you're done.
and then on this,
Hold on just a minute. So you own two lots?
yes,
I
Yes.
guess, I just purchased 1318 County Way, 1 acre.
Okay,
Last May, I don't know, technically.
yeah, and originally it showed it as being just the house in one in a corner, like a little triangle off of that.
Yep.
But they're combined
okay,
to make the 39,560. And that's what, the surveyor went off of everything to do with that too.
that's fine.
And even originally I had done calculations off of the 19,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we were still under the 30% if we wanted to go that way too.
Well, you did them for both.
I
think.
did,
We weren't
I
sure
did
which one
originally.
you'd want.
Well, the pool's not in the 19,000 square foot.
It's, yeah, it is,
Oh, okay.
yes.
But either way, it looks like
It's okay.
under.
Yeah, either way you looked at it, it was still gonna be under the 30% by a reasonable amount. So currently, you guys asked for 40-foot rear setback, and we are at 85. Right, and 45 feet we're at on the side where you call for a 20-foot. And then in the front, we're at 75 where you call for a 30-foot. And the only thing that we added differently was we added the fence to it around the drawing now. So we had put the fence at 5 feet out from the pool. So that would make the side setback at 40 to the fence, the rear setback at 80, and then the front setback at 70
From the fence to the lot line.
from the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So does that mean that, the door outside is outside of the fence?
it is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, I was gonna go kind of to where the bulkhead is.
You can see that.
We were gonna make it so it would just,
There's the permit, yeah.
yeah, yep, it was just gonna
Mhm.
connect right in. So this will be a little larger area for.
And there's, the apron around the pool, that's the only, that's a.
So normally, a lot of times we'll do a large, but on this, we were only gonna do 1.5 feet.
Everything.
So basically just cover the top of the pool and get the skimmers encompassed in it. So it'll be grass up to
And that's
that.
the extent of the impervious.
Yep.
area.
Yep. That's why the pool's only 450, but we've got 580. I don't know what else, I don't know if your question.
That's my understanding, you're gonna have an automatic cover.
We are, and that's made by a company called Aquamatic. That's hydraulically operated one,
Okay.
and it will have a key switch that you're not swimming unless you turn the key. You know, and I know the state of Massachusetts has adopted that if you have an automatic cover, you don't need a fence, but I know you guys still want.
Right, we require a 4-foot
Yep.
high fence. We haven't gotten up to.
We haven't caught up yet here.
We still call them swimming holes.
And,
Like Jethro.
then the only lights will be within the pool itself,
Yes.
LED, low
Yep.
voltage LED.
No railings of any kind, just corner steps. And I had shown, I didn't know you guys,
Yeah.
so this is a. There's a blueprint of the, I don't, yeah, if you. So showing the automatic cover and just a set of corner steps.
Oh,
with-
great.
And a little bench in the deep end on it.
Nice addition.
You're in charge of detail.
I'm in charge of the team.
The passes,
So no diving board, it looks like.
No
a
diving.
channel.
No,
they were jumping off the roof.
no, Helen just likes to float around.
I've seen her many times.
Cover that.
Any other questions?
No. I think it's very straightforward.
Is there any member of the public who would like to speak on the application? I'll first ask people in the room. No? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be recognized? If so, please raise your hand in Zoom. If I'm in the screen.
Wait a minute, was I on TV?
You're famous now.
Only had one hit.
So are you, ready for me to make a motion?
Yes, please.
I move to close the public hearing and approve the application of Ellen Smith for a special permit under section 4.2.EF, 2.2, 2.0, and 12.5.2 of the zoning bylaw, and other relief that may be necessary to install a 15-foot by 30-foot gunite swimming pool with an automatic cover, a 4-foot high fence with locking gates, alarm. You don't need alarm doors. And low voltage LED lights within the pool at 13 Ancient County Way, Assessors Map number 13, lot number 11 in District A, filed with the town clerk on March 28, 2023, Based on a finding, the proposed pool is in harmony with the purpose and intent of the bylaw, will not be more detrimental or injurious to the neighborhood in which it is located, and all requirements and conditions under section 12.5.2 of the zoning bylaw for the grant of a special permit have been met, based on the following conditions. The pool and fence are located as depicted in the site plan prepared by EPS Associates LLC dated April 28, 2023, with the hand-drawn fence. And that all lighting shall be low voltage LED contained within the pool lots. And that the 4-foot fence shall conform with all specifications of the Manchester zoning bylaw and the Massachusetts building. Do I have a second?
Second.
Jim? Yeah. Talk louder.
All right, Brian.
But then you can write the decision.
Okay. Are we ready to vote? Jim,
I agree.
James,
Approved.
Kevin,
Approve.
Brian,
Yes.
and Sarah, please. Who would like to write it?
I've been written one for a while, so I.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, I'd like to sit right at the end of the map. I'll do it.
Brian will do it. Okay, thanks.
Oh, wait. Hey, Brian, wait. This, that one has the fence.
Yeah, I know.
Keep them both. Yeah, this one.
Solid plan.
The pool thing, yeah. So you're all set.
Me too.
The decision will be written within 90 days, hopefully sooner, right, Jim?
Sure.
Once the decision is filed with the town clerk, there's a 20-day appeal period. The building inspector will issue a permit and allow you to proceed at your own risk. That
After this is done, after we get this.
this decision has to be filed with the town clerk before he'll issue a building permit. And if you proceed within that 20-day appeal period, somebody could appeal the decision and you can have to undo your work. So that's why I take on this. Thank you.
That's it, you're done.
Are you done? You can go to the game?
I have one
Thank you.
more hearing. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
done.
you very much.
Thanks.
Great night.
Good luck.
Tired?
The next, now we'll go back to the original, the first, application on the
Who's
agenda.
gonna, I'm gonna write it. Brian's gonna check it.
Brian,
I'm gonna learn from the master.
Okay,
Sit at the right hand of God.
So I now will open the public hearing for the application of Todd Territory TJP Design Group LLC on behalf of Susan King for a special permit under sections 5.4, 7.2, and 12.5.2 of the zoning bylaw, and or other relief that may be necessary for the reconstruction of a detached garage to connect it to the house such that it maintains the footprint on the north side and increases encroachment into the setback on the east and south side at 4 North Street, assessors map number 51, lot number 21 in District D, filed with the town clerk on March 28, 2023. So who is here to present this application?
I'm on Zoom.
Okay,
Hi,
please state your name and,
Todd Parator.
okay,
All right. So are you ready? Should I begin?
yep, go ahead.
All right. So we would like to, well, we're two things. One is we want to rebuild or replace the garage with one that, well, will fit a car. In the second, and in order, so that it's currently a non-conforming lot. And we don't actually, although the drawing, we need to, there's a slight, there's a hiccup on the drawing. It actually shows that we're making it more non-conforming. We'll move the building forward so that we don't make it more non-conforming, we maintain the rear setback of 0.93 feet. But, so that's as an accessory building. The catch is that we'd also like to correct or connect the garage, and for all intents and purposes, it's currently connected. There's one, about a 19 inches between the garage and the mudroom currently, and so we can't, it's not functional space. So that's the bigger hiccup that we need to discuss tonight. But otherwise, the hope is to make it, stay within the non-conformity on the back setback and stay and not make it worse to the side.
Yeah, I think that if you're, so the setbacks for an accessory structure are different than for an attached garage.
This is the hiccup.
Yeah, so in District D, the side setback for a primary structure is 10 feet and for an accessory structure is 5 feet. And the rear setback is 10 feet for a primary structure and 5 feet for a detached structure. And what we have indicates that the existing garage currently conforms with the side setback,
Correct.
but it does not conform with the rear setback.
Correct.
If you're altering a non-conforming structure, we can issue a special permit if it does not make it more non-conforming. The problem is if you attach it to the house, a variance would be required. And a variance was not applied for.
Correct. All of these things are correct. And our hope, well, go ahead.
And in addition, is that what we have, the documents submitted to us show us as you're going more into the rear setback. I think.
Right, we will correct that.
But if you move it forward, because the garage is not parallel to the side lot line, you're going to go further into the side setback.
We would bump it closer to the house to make sure that works. So that we stay under the 5 foot accessory building. Which I understand is
Accessory building.
for an accessory building, right? So so our hope, we talked it over ahead of time with a couple of different people, and our hope was that for all intents and purposes, it is connected, since we can't use that space and we can't put a door between the spaces and still meet fire code. And that it's visually connected. I mean, you have to look square on to see that it's not connected. So that was our hope. But we also understand that it's not connected. And that we might, that there might be a consequence to that.
Members of the board?
Not right now.
Well, it looks like if we're being asked to approve this, they'd need a variance or a special permit, a variance.
A
Right,
variance
and
and attach it.
a variance was not included in the public hearing, which would mean it would have to be continued and it would have to be renoticed
Mhm.
in a public hearing as a variance.
What if it's covered but not attached? What if the 19 inches is covered but not actually attached?
Well, don't they also want to move the garage closer and effectively fill that gap?
No, they want to connect, that's where they want to make the connection.
He said he's pushing the garage over
But
too.
why would the lot? No, that's what I heard too. You can keep it
Yeah,
out of the 5 foot. So that would,
exactly.
that 19 inches might be 12 inches or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, they're still connecting it, wasn't Jim?
it appears to me that it would be smarter to set this up as a application for a variance. Attach the garage to the house, because I spoke to the homeowner and I think she would prefer to be able to walk out of her house and into her garage without going out in the weather, and certainly that makes sense. There is room to do that. It's just a matter of granting a variance to do it. My sense is that, considering the age of the house and the size of these lots in that district, that it's likely that a variance would be approved. However, to do that, they would have to send us proper documentation showing exactly what they intend to do with that, under that variance. Right now, it's like, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna move it here, move it there. That's fine, and I understand it, but to do it, you have to kind of nail it down and make sure that it's consistent so that there's a record.
I agree with Jim. What I heard was a lot of, with the planning and doing this, and then do that.
It's not drawn that way or presented that way.
No, I mean, we've gone down this road many times because the homeowners frequently either they simply don't understand the process, or in the process of looking at the project, you make changes. And so I think that that would be the cleanest way to do it. My sense is, once we have that in front of us, it probably will be approved.
They'll need to approve, demonstrate hardship.
Yeah, and the hardship, and you can demonstrate the hardship, and that's not hard to do. And that would.
What would our hardship be, do you think? I mean, we were
that's for
told
you
that.
To determine.
All right, well, I can tell you what we were told. We were told that there's no other way to have a connected garage on the site and be conforming. Does that seem reasonable?
Part of the hardship.
That's hardship.
Wait a minute, let me read you, we're not gonna,
No, we.
All right, I understand. I was
Hardship.
I
hoping
will
for a
read
simple-
you what the requirements are for variance. If I can find it. Not here.
They move it
The
again.
new ones, the old ones.
Sorry, we have brand new bylaws and I can't find anything anymore. Well, something. Does anybody remember what, it was 7 point something? wasn't it?
It was.
I can look at it.
7.2, right? With accessibility.
Variance, 12.4.6. The Board of Appeals may grant upon appeal or upon petition with respect to particular land or structures a variance from specific requirements of the bylaw only where, after notice and public hearing as required by the zoning act, the Board of Appeals specifically finds that owing to circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of land or structures, and especially affecting such land or structures, but not affecting generally the zoning district in which it is located, a literal enforcement of the provisions of this bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, and that desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of this bylaw.
Okay.
There is mine.
Perfect. What is the date on the current bylaw? I have 8/22 as my most current.
March 2nd, 2023.
Ah. All right.
Basically, the bylaw was all renumbered,
So you don't find anything.
but the wording is supposed to be the same.
All right.
So we're still becoming familiar with it.
All
Okay,
right. So we will resubmit.
okay. Before you go there, let me see if there's public comment on this application since the public hearing. Is there anybody in the room that would like to comment. Yes, ma'am, would you please state your name and
My name
address?
is Katerina Gates. I represent the 1-800 Trust. Before anybody builds in that property, we approached, we have been here for quite some time, 38 years. My husband's mother purchased this property where about it
Okay,
of 31 School Street. And she bought it in 76, after my father died. And she was a summer resident, so she lived here only in summertime. The property owned the Lisa King at the time, property, was starting from the upper part, coming down to School Street, with the in and out area, which was 26 point. I will give you a copy of what I have. You can see.
I mean, are you talking about her property or something?
Well, I
else?
don't know the lady. Are you the lady?
I am.
Nice meeting you.
last night.
Okay. Anyway,
I mean, I
I'm
guess,
talking about that property.
and what's the point you're trying to make?
Everybody should have the right to build, in my opinion, in a property that they buy. But this property has issues from the beginning. And these are letters we had written from my mother-in-law time to Lisa King. She refused to do anything about it. Then we contacted the real estate agency when they put in the market in 21, that maybe we should correct the boundary before anybody sells it. Even the realtor at the time agreed that it had other issues because in part of the property, the actual building was not registered, and I have photographs of everything. So these are also letters to their.
Well, that would be something you would deal with in land court, not with the zoning board of
But
appeals.
if you're giving him a permit, why would you give a permit for something to go back when actually
The structure's already there.
it built, yes, but they built on our property.
We had a survey.
I think the
Title was
if you
issued,
look, if you,
a title was issued on this property, correct?
yes, but Mr. Glovsky, the lawyer at the purchase of the property, refused to do anything about it. And we wrote back and forth in emails, and all the emails. Our lawyer said, I would find maybe another lawyer, even though we are still having him as a lawyer because this is a conflict of interest because he had just joined Mr. Glovsky's agency. So we don't want to go to court. We don't want payments and all the stuff because they have built on our side. That's a long time ago. But nobody, and we have the letters from the sequence of my husband's father from 2003 telling us, she died in 2006, that she was good in records and she left all kinds of things. That property, from when the initial time, when she bought it, the people who bought it did wrong things. So that's what was happening and nobody fixed it. So we tried before Lisa King's children sold it for the next buyer, like Mrs. King. We thought it was a relative. That's why
No.
we didn't get in touch with her.
So
They refused to do anything. They said, we don't care.
when I look at this map, it looks to me like 4 North Street is the Gorman property. Is that not correct?
Do you see North Street?
Yes, and the Gorman property
That is the
goes
King,
to the
Lisa King,
corner of North Street.
that Lisa King's property, which is another lady, Mrs. King, currently another one.
So it's not A or B on this map?
No.
Okay,
Our boundary line is the red line as you see this, the town.
there's
line.
no red line
Look
here.
at the-
It's on.
Oh.
something that has-
I think this is.
So I just don't understand what the issue is.
Well, when the house was built, if you look at the papers, there are all the answers there. If, when
I couldn't make head or tail out of it.
Mrs. Lisa King, I will have to say her first name, so we don't confuse her with the current person who has nothing to do with all this. She just got involved in it by just buying the property. My mother-in-law came home from Florida and she found Lisa King having an addition put to her house over the property.
What year was that?
That was back in 85 and 7, and Lisa never registered it.
What do you mean registered?
She never even put it in the town record. So it wasn't even properly put in. A lot of people do think.
The house is there
Of
today.
course it is.
At
I'm
4
talking
North
about an
Street.
addition. If you look at this addition, I have also a photograph of the current survey that a neighbor did, that also has a budding to Lisa King on the Desmond side. Again, and it's 2 feet away from the garage. The abutting line, you can see the
Right.
photographs.
That's correct.
And it goes all the way down 26 feet, 0.1, which is our property, 26 feet.
Okay.
So that building that is now there, the addition to the main structure.
There is no addition to the main structure.
But you see,
Lisa.
that's what I'm saying.
This-
It was never registered
Excuse me.
as a new
Let me
addition.
speak.
Yes,
There's a detached garage there, which is
I'm not
not,
talking about the garage. The garage is separate. It has a space between the house.
Referring to a mudroom that's attached to the main house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the kitchen.
It's just-
And if you see the photograph that has a marker, that is Lisa King, who brought a surveyor, and her sons refused to give me the name of the surveyor at the time when I was questioned. That is, we took a picture. She was a little bit of a, character. She had a BB gun, she was shooting wildlife, and if they shot, she
Right.
made a hole in our window. So we finally decided to put a fence where the wire fence was. On that part of the property.
Yeah.
The front part, she had put.
So
it's on somebody else's property.
So
that's
the
something-
actual boundary of the, of Lisa, it's right next to her house, the house.
So the garage is way on someone else's.
Thank you, thank you.
Commercially approaching.
So what we discussed with them back then, and I would offer the same thing, we don't want any money. Because they built on the part, but since they're going to build, at least it would be good to make the line where it is at the corner, which is about 2 feet away from the house, the current fence where we have temporary, because she was shooting, so we put a fence there with an opening, we haven't closed it all this time. And so if you look at the map, can you see the map of the town, the front page? Yes. Okay, there are, if we go really right to the 26 feet down, we go through that mudroom. We take it down, we want money for what they did. I don't need anything like this.
But the survey that was done recently,
The survey, Mr. Glavsky did it after we had gotten in touch with him.
yeah, but we just had one done a month ago.
I'm sorry. that-
Excuse me, Mrs. Gates. You're out of order
I'm
at this
sorry.
point.
I'm-
You've had your say, thank you.
Because we didn't understand.
Mr. Paratori, what would you like to say?
We just had a survey done, I mean, very recent, I mean, I
Right.
guess in February, and now I don't know whether that there is some exception to how that survey was done, but it was done by Jay Giroux, who's licensed. But I mean, that's all that I have to go on, and that shows it within, I mean, it's still non-conforming, obviously, but it shows that mudroom within Susan's property line.
Correct, that's the information we have. Is that all the structures on this property are within the bounds of the property, very close to the property line, but within the bounds of.
May I ask, are ours wrong?
We don't know.
From the
That-
beginning?
We don't know, we don't.
That's outside of
Because
the
that
bounds
was
of the
okay.
zoning board of appeals.
Ours was signed by the town.
I'm sorry, this is outside of the bounds of the zoning board of appeals. If you have an issue regarding a property line, you need to hire an attorney and work with Mrs. King's attorney and figure out whether you need to go to land court to redraw the
Well,
boundary.
I'm so sorry that when we found out that a king bought it, we thought it was one of the brothers decided to buy the house, one of the two sons. We
But it-
didn't know because they refused to do anything. We said, okay,
Well, everything we have before us is saying that the structures are validly on the property.
so.
And that's what
all
we
the-
have to rely on.
So all the past records that we have in record from 76, they're wrong.
No,
Well, I'm sorry.
They're not here to.
I know, but nobody will do
if this
illegal.
addition was built in 1984,
Yes,
that is well out of the bounds of having anything done to it. Once it's been there for 10 years,
Well, then you had
It's
this older
valid.
woman who was in her seventies whenever they did it. And she didn't want to go to court. She just thought Lisa
I'm
was.
sorry, I can't help what was done in the past. The fact of the matter is that we have a survey before us that indicates there's not an issue with the structure, except for the fact that it encroaches into the setback, but it doesn't encroach into somebody else's property.
The yellow marker, you don't see the color now. It's a black and white photograph.
I'm
The
looking
marker,
at
the
what
marker
was-
behind the garage is a yellow marker in the black and white photograph. It's not ours. Our neighbors did a survey for their property. We're abutters with them. And it goes also to Lisa King's property. And their surveyor, yellow market is still there in Lisa King's behind the garage. You can see it tomorrow if you want. And it is showing that, Mrs. King, do you agree that is there? Because we just took a picture today. That's the picture today.
We couldn't find it last night. It was.
Well, it was among the ferns there.
Right.
Yes, right there. And the name of the people are Guto, they're the neighbors. And I talked to them and they said, well, we know it's 2 feet in her property, but we don't care. We can take the front, whatever. So it's not that I'm speaking like a dream. It's just facts that I had. That's all.
Thank you.
Seems to me that there's some things that have to be resolved before they come back to us.
Well, I
But that's
I don't think that we get involved in property line.
No, we don't. I mean, we've already discussed the fact that
You're
everything
right.
that's come back as a special permit.
But,
That's as far as everything else, that's up to their lawyers and
That's a variance.
A very.
variance variance.
is there any member, anybody on Zoom who wishes to speak on this application? Then I'm going to suggest that we continue this matter to our June meeting. I need the applicant to request that.
All right, we will request, we will
Okay.
request that. And so what we should do in the meantime, Ben, is correct the drawing and refill out the paperwork as for a variance. Does that
Right.
work as a continuance?
Yes, well, let me make the motion to continue first, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
At the request of the applicant, I move to continue the public hearing to June 21st, 2023 at 7 p.m. and extend the time for writing the decision to September 21st, 2023 for the application of Todd Paratori, TJP Design Group LLC on behalf of Susan King for the reconstruction of a detached garage connected to the house such that it maintains the footprint on the north side and increases encroachment into the setback on the east side and south sides at 4 North Street, Assessors Map number 51, lot number 21 in District D, filed with the town clerk on March 28, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vote, Jim,
Second. Approved.
James,
Approved.
Catherine, right, Sarah approves. So we've continued this application. You need to submit it as a variance and provide new drawings. I think that you need to discuss the lot line issue with the closing attorney. Does that make sense?
It does.
Because the title has passed. Has approved and, you know, it's not something that the ZBA would get involved in, but obviously is an issue with neighbors, so it would be good to get resolved. The challenge is timing. For our June 21st meeting, the notice has to be posted to the Cricket by Monday morning. Town hall is closed on Friday.
Okay, we'll have our drawings in by tomorrow. That's not a problem.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, then it would be posted as a new public hearing
With very,
for the variance at the June 21st meeting. Okay.
and I might suggest that you guys review the language of variance and are familiar with the hardship you need to prove when you come back, just so we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Sarah, it's
Yeah,
Gail.
yeah.
That public hearing notice needs to be filed on the 29th, which gives us
Oh,
it gives us 2 full weeks.
We have time.
okay,
Yep. I just.
That's even better.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody can relax.
so if you can get it in next week, that would be good.
all right. I just wanted to give the heads up on that.
Thank you.
Now, I need to have this continuance signed. Are you willing to sign this? Sure. Okay. Like my sister.
Yeah, and me too.
Yay.
All good people.
They didn't stop me.
Or just gave me bad grades in handwriting.
Okay, so you understand what needs to be done?
Yes.
And Mrs. King, the current one, not the file that I gave you, he knows what. They are. Yeah, I'd be happy to talk. I know.
Just every day is a surprise.
I wish I knew you were not the same person. We would have done it that earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Your documentation here. Would you like
That's why we.
that for Mrs. King to have to?
Distributed that.
Okay,
We're not clairvoyant, you know.
Well, sometimes I am.
okay.
I didn't know I needed to use my powers.
Yeah, that's just.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Close this up. Is there anything we have to do?
Yes, we go hold on, I'm just.
Really?
So we're moving to administrative matters, and the first is to review minutes. Now,
But I don't know.
for 19 minutes. Does anybody?
Yeah, Gail did.
They look good to me.
Little fun.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from April 19th?
Motion made to approve the minutes of April 19th.
Do I have a second? James. Vote. Jim,
Aye.
James,
Proof.
Same.
Catherine abstains, Brian approves, and Sarah approves. Now, we also have to reapprove the minutes from 3:15. Is that correct, Gail?
It was, no, I think they were fine. I
John had amendments.
said that again.
John Benares had amendments to the 3:15.
Oh, I did put in his correction. There was one word that needed to be changed from within to outside of the 100-foot zone. So I did make that change.
The other thing is that in the members present, Catherine Howe's last name is incorrect. She must have gotten remarried to Hall.
You guys are giving some flowers.
Yeah, I've been really busy the past while.
Okay,
I'll fix that also.
okay, then I'll take a motion to approve amended minutes. These have to be reposted to the website.
We're waiting on you, Jim.
You gonna make the motion? to
Again?
approve-
You've been on a roll. You're on a roll. Go.
March-
Make a motion to approve the minutes of April 19th,
No, March 15th amended minutes.
March 15th amended
Friendly.
minutes.
Do I have a second?
A second,
Yes.
Vote. Brian,
Yes.
Catherine,
Approved.
approved.
James, Jim,
Extension is not-
Approved.
and
I
Sarah
understand the
approves.
changes needed.
Okay,
There were two words.
decisions are all done. We're up to date on decisions.
Thank you, James.
Wow.
Update on decisions appealed.
Yes.
The one Dexter Lane appeal
Okay, yeah.
has been withdrawn. Because the house is under contract
As a single family.
to be
home.
sold on May 31st.
As a single family.
I'm presuming that, but I don't know.
What was Dexter Lane? Was that the
That
one?
was
The
the
really
nice-
beautiful old house they wanted to make into 3 condos and there was an abutting landowner that was really mad about it.
Maybe you should take out a unit.
Is there an
So,
agreement already to be purchased as
yeah,
a single?
How'd you miss that?
I heard, town council contacted me and said that the parties had agreed to, withdraw the appeal and that the special permit will just lapse by law in 2 years. And both parties were
Amenable.
okay with that and that,
Interesting.
because it was under,
Amenable.
under agreement.
James is sitting going, how did I miss this?
Really?
Didn't see that in the MLS. did you?
Sleep at the wheel.
2 Blossom Lane, everyone knows has been appealed. And I believe you've all received your 136 page packages.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, it came
Certified mail.
certified.
That's
mail
why if you're not
yesterday.
working home, you didn't get it. You just got a sticker like me that said, we tried to deliver your mail.
You also received an electronic copy.
I did not.
I did not.
I did not.
Well, I'll rectify that.
Now, what about?
Wait, you don't serve us. I mean,
What is I didn't even read the,
I haven't looked at it.
do you know what the issue is?
I haven't looked at it.
the
Jen.
basis for appeal, you mean?
I haven't looked at it.
No, I don't know either.
It was an electronic copy, 136 pages long, and I said, I'm not gonna sit here and print it. And then I got the printed copy this week and I haven't had a chance to look at
I didn't get anything.
I served electronically.
it. Okay.
I never get anything. You gotta read it.
The 40B
Yes.
appeal,
What's going on?
nothing.
Nothing.
HAC has to make a determination as to whether to approve MECT and a private group of citizens as interveners. On January 19th, they were going to make that decision within 2 weeks.
Okay, it's not January 19th anymore.
And they apparently have not made that decision. It's my understanding that Mr. Engler is fighting it. I don't know on what basis.
If there's any upside at all, is that the costs just keep on escalating.
Well,
For us?
we're not in a big rush,
No,
so.
England,
Okay.
so most places would have to drop out.
The next item I have is I received an email from Eduardo Levanco
Oh, yeah.
of 14 Coolidge Point.
Ooh, there's some money there.
He had, I think his mother died, they had a baby. So we granted the special permit on April 11th, 2022. Unfortunately, when that decision was written, it inadvertently provided only a 1-year limit for the special permit rather than a 2-year limit. And so he came to me and said, I haven't had a chance to start. 1 year is up, what do I do? So I was wondering if we would be, what?
I might have wrote it.
You wrote it?
Who reviewed it?
Because if he wrote it, I reviewed it, and I said, okay. Oh.
So-
The right hand of God.
So
I don't check the fine print.
what
I just looked for commas and periods.
Well, that's my job.
I'm prepared to make a motion.
Yes.
Before I read the motion, I'll just explain that we modify the special permit and extend it out to
2 years.
April 11th, 2020.
The year he
Can we
was.
do that based on a clerical error or
Yeah, I
something?
think so. I'll read the motion and then you can, I move to modify the special permit granted on April 11th, 2022 under section 6.1.2 and 7.5.2 of the zoning bylaw to raise the existing non-conforming single-family residence, formerly a World War II military tower. And
That's the one.
Yes.
All right.
On a non-conforming lot and replace it with a conforming single-family residence at 14 Coolidge Point, assessors map number 3, not lot number 11 in District E, filed with the town clerk on December 16, 2021, to allow the special permit to lapse on April 11, 2023, the second anniversary of the date on which the decision was filed with the town clerk, unless construction has commenced. Based on a finding, the intention of the board was to allow the usual 2-year period, and the decision was inadvertently drafted to allow only 1 year.
Hold on, we want it to lapse on 2023 or 2024, because we're in 2023.
2024.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you guys screwed up twice.
Could have had to redo it at the next meeting.
Thank you for paying attention.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Jim seconds. Any discussion?
I was rushed.
You can't wait to get off this board fast enough, can you?
Okay, so Jim seconded it. Okay. So we'll take a vote. Jim,
aye.
James,
Approved.
Catherine,
Approved.
Brian,
Approved.
and Sarah says yes. I'll write it. Good, since this is a little weird.
You just have to rewrite it, right?
No, I'm just doing a modification. I'm not rewriting the entire decision.
I could rewrite it. I have it electronically. I could just change the thing.
No, you
can't
can
trust
say
the
it's a
change.
modification.
Okay.
We'll change it anyway.
It's one, it's
If you
one,
got the original, you can change anything you
1
want.
year to 2 years. That's it. Done. Sorry, we sent the wrong letter. Here's the correct one.
Typo in the original.
It's further messed up by James Mitchell and.
Okay,
Hey, I thought I was wrong once, but I made a mistake.
okay. The other three things I just wanted to mention is I would like to request,
This will be 7 things you're.
this is under the other administrative matters not reasonably anticipated.
Yeah.
That I think we talked at some of the past meeting about changing some of the fees.
Yes, we
And
have.
what I've done, Gail and I've done a little research. And our fees haven't been changed for umpteen million years, and when our fees were originally issued, the expectation was that the filing fee would be paid by the property owner.
Mhm.
And the filing fee is 110. Which would bring it to 350, but then when you look at some of the other towns, it seems reasonable to me to raise it to 500. And have the fee be the same for a special permit or a variance. Rather than separate different amounts for each. What are the, what are the thoughts?
Huge jump.
Right,
From 350 to 500. And how many years has it been?
15.
That's not a huge jump.
That was from one
I
something.
thought you said
to
one, I thought
500.
you said 150.
Well, no, 260 or 280 is what we charge now, and then the filing fee is 110.
So the total is going to be 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Originally, they paid their filing fee and then we stopped doing that. So in effect, we decreased the fees without knowing it.
So we said.
I think that when you talk
Can
about,
we do it incrementally?
when you talk about the price of billing of a building, $500 is a drop in the bucket
On some of the big projects.
on any project.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm just thinking of the big ass jump.
I don't think given inflation and the time that's lapsed, that's a big jump. And I also think to Sarah's point that that's a small percentage of construction cost.
But it will go to the select board.
Good. You choose to close it there.
Yeah, I'm just making a recommendation.
Come to me and I'll say no then.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's again, it's, water fees are gonna be going up, are changing and all kinds of stuff are happening, so. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The other thing is there's a revised application in process to correct all the zoning references. The new zoning bylaw is up on the website.
I'm being,
All the sections have changed.
Can we get printed copies of it? like bound copies like they did the last time.
Gail,
I could get, do it myself, but.
Well, the story on the zoning bylaws is still going on.
Yeah.
And there are changes that are going to be brought up at special town meeting in June. And then,
that's fine, but what, the board needs to have the current bylaws because all, the sections are all different.
And it's easiest to look at them printed for me anyway,
Yeah.
than to go through the online.
So is it
hundreds of
possible for
pages.
you to do double-sided printouts?
yes, it is very possible.
Okay, I've done one. I don't need one because I've already printed it out.
We need to, but
I'm
heads
sure
up,
we
they
will.
are going to change.
That's fine.
And then we'll have to
have
reprint them
to do it
again
again.
in August or whatever, whenever
Yeah.
they.
Okay.
Thank you, Gail.
The other thing is, I think at some meeting, I indicated that the lapse period for a special permit had changed from 2 years to 3 years. It did at the state, but unfortunately that was in Article 9 that was passed over at the November town meeting. So we're still under the 2 year.
We're allowed to be more restricted than the state.
Presumably, yes.
Okay,
Until someone appeals a decision and
right.
Yeah.
brings it up as a point.
No, as long as we don't go beyond what the state
That's
allows.
what I think, we're allowed to be more restricted.
Yeah, maybe more, but
Yeah,
it's kind of like.
it's kind of, I don't like it.
Conservation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it because
It's inconsistent and confusing.
well, and we don't want people coming back before us,
We don't have-
you know. With construction the way it is, it takes a while sometimes.
That's true.
If it can take 6 months to get it through. Go through the process with the zoning board of appeals, I mean, 2 years. Anything else,
Move to adjourn.
Mr. Gay?
Jim Gates, 2 Desmond Avenue. I have an administrative suggestion. I've had a terrible time trying to chase down this 4 North Street proposal because it's not on the internet.
Right.
I'm trying to find Gail while I'm wandering around the town. She's just left. She's not in today. And she had yesterday, did email me a copy of the plan. But they came PDF and they came upside down. And I really couldn't see them. What I suggest administratively, when you have an item on the agenda, that there should be a computer link for anybody who's interested to read the entire document.
And
Obviously, 4 North Street has a lot more to most of the drawings that I've seen, even upside down.
right,
But the people with the swimming pool.
Yeah.
They have,
okay, thank you, Mr. Gates. I think that, yes, that is something on our list of things to be done. Currently, it's a resource issue of being able to get all our applications up on the web.
well,
Yes.
the drawings already seem to be on the internet because once the town clerk had emailed
Yeah,
Gail,
I don't,
it just came.
I don't want to get into a lengthy discussion about this. It's a significant additional effort to get it up on the website. That's the challenge. And I've been trying to do it for the last 6 months. So we're working towards it, and I agree it would be a much improved process.
Yes.
Okay.
And to have the decisions up there also. To have something by address up on the website where somebody could click on the address and
Look at
get
what's
all the
going on.
materials associated with it and the decision.
Well,
Thank you for your
yeah,
feedback.
We all agree with you.
We do agree with you.
It's not a big deal.
No,
I sent you, I was advised by the town clerk that my term is over in June.
yes,
I sent you a copy of it. And so I will do whatever it is makes you happy. It's consistent with, getting things done. And then we have to let the town clerk know, I guess.
yes.
But if I have to take that ethics course again,
I
I
know.
will kill somebody.
I took it twice.
I've taken it again.
Yes, so the situation we have is we have 3 terms up in 2023. Jim and James and Brian,
And
June.
I was just gonna say, John, which is elected to school committee, is he still gonna be on this?
Mhm.
Oh,
You got elected? Oh, great.
Okay.
You ran out of.
That was, I know, I gotta tell you.
So all I needed was one vote.
So we have one application for ZBA.
But are you saying, are you asking whether you need to re-up your term? Is that the
I'm
question?
happy to re-up. We just need to let the town clerk know
Yeah,
what we wanted, what we're going to do and how we're going to address it. And it doesn't have to, we have at least until into June to let her know. It's not drop dead tomorrow
I
morning.
think there's been discussions as to appointments. There's a new appointment policy. And the plan, I think the discussion was that 2 consecutive terms, basically the second term would be at the pleasure of the chair. And then if you want to stay on a 3rd term, then it would have to go through the whole process of being, I don't know if it's approved by. approved by the select board.
No, I'm not willing to interview with the select board.
Okay.
If they don't understand my.
No,
Now-
but it hasn't been,
Yeah.
it hasn't been approved at this point. Now, I've asked to, instead of resigning, I asked to slide back into an alternate's position. And they wouldn't let me do it until the new fiscal year.
It's unfortunate that
okay.
more people in town don't step up. and
So
fill
James,
these
you want
roles.
off, is that correct? So James is not gonna renew.
I did 2 terms.
Jim,
3 terms, you got a chair.
Jim
A
will
chair.
renew, but not if he has to interview with the select board.
And it was preferably as an alternate, right?
Well, I don't really
No,
care.
consider this an interview with the select board.
Dominoes and biscuits.
I expressed my opinion on this. And Brian,
I would like to slide into
go into an
like,
alternate.
which would move Sean into a voting position.
Brian alternate and Sean.
No,
I appreciate, we have to be really careful because all these town boards have been accused of being filled with stupid, incompetent, backward people.
well, thank you very much. You read that too?
I'm part of it. And
My
so,
IQ was 30 points lower than anyone else's according to Facebook,
Was 30 points lower than what?
the average or whatever everyone else on the select
I
board.
know that.
I'll consider the source.
Okay, I will send an email to Debbie Powers.
Do we have applications?
One,
One, but there's like a lot of people that, I'd like to get off this board. I
Right.
told you that when I renewed my
Yeah.
term, that I was only renewing to see the 40B through.
so what I would suggest is people
Stop looking for your replacement.
try to find people who might be
I'd like to
interested.
refer that as. we
Tell
refer
people
that
what an
as a
interesting
succession plan.
job it is.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is interesting.
It's
hey, it could be on the planning board.
It was much better than before we got the 40B.
It was much better before we got the 40B. It
Yeah.
burned
And,
everyone out.
Yeah.
COVID and Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And angry people accusing us of incompetence left and right.
It's not a difficult thing. It takes a little time.
It's
and
time
work.
consuming.
It's time.
Um,
For instance, I came from, so I had a select board meeting Monday night. I had today's Tuesday, right? And a meeting
Monday, today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday, so Tuesday, the site visit, that's what it
Oh,
was. This morning I had a meeting, then a 6:30, 5:30 meeting at the Parks and Rec, then I'm here. And tomorrow, so I'm trying to find ways of just, so if I can do it as an alternate in an emergency, I'll be more than happy.
Right,
Because it's truthfully, it's not a big time suck, but it's just another time
Right.
suck.
Yeah. Well, I think we were lucky for a number of years because of COVID, because people weren't traveling on business.
Yeah.
People weren't traveling, so people were available.
Mhm.
Now, all of a sudden,
I think Catherine would stick around a little longer if she could bring her daughter, let her climb in her lap here in person.
She'd use that gavel.
okay, so I'll send that email, and if people can think of people you think might be interested,
Well, how about a couple of candidates that didn't make it to this planning board?
that's all right.
It might not pass them.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, Sarah, I raised my hand.
Yes,
I just wanted to confirm there are actually 2 applications for next month.
Oh, we was
no,
talking
we
about-
were talking about applications for volunteering for ZBA.
Oh, well, we're lucky to have one.
But yes, we do have 2 applications for Next,
Plus the continuation, or is that included?
yeah, no, plus the continuation, we have 117 School Street, who I've gone back to and suggested they need a variance.
Is that the stucco house?
No,
Yeah.
that's a White House. And they're trying to add a 953 square foot accessory pool house and a pool on a non-conforming lot.
What's the other one?
What's the other one, Gail?
I really don't know. It's another Brian Stein, but I don't have the address on the top of my head.
Butler, 4 Butler Ave.
There you go.
Came up with it.
We don't know if it's true, but
Yeah.
It is.
pull that right out of
We
it.
haven't received either of those yet, correct? They-
Correct, they've just come in,
And then the continuation here.
the 117 school probably.
No,
And
this,
this
this
continuation.
that's the lot line.
One question,
Brian,
Sarah.
as
Yeah,
a member of the select board, you should
The
make.
dullest one, oh, by the way,
I'm sorry?
the dullest one of the board.
Well,
Allegedly.
regardless, it would be good to make them aware how difficult it is to get volunteers to serve on these boards.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
And I also appreciate the fact that they would like people not to be on there for life. That's smart.
Mhm.
But if we're sort of between a rock and a hard place, we have to conduct business. And if we do it with the minimum, it's not fair to the applicants. So my snarky comment about not wanting to go before the select board again was snarky. And I wasn't meant to be snarky. But after that interview I had the other night with
Oh, that's.
some of them,
I fell off. I'm sorry. I was in the middle of, I was in a plane. I couldn't, I
yeah,
lost you.
oh, you didn't miss anything great. So anyway,
Interview you had.
we can go into that. Let's end this meeting.
Question I had is Jim received a notice from, is it the town clerk?
Debbie
No.
Powers, you were on it also.
Okay,
What?
It was actually, wasn't, it was the town administrator.
okay.
Debbie Powers, an email.
Administrator.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and it was last week, I think.
What's that?
When did the email from Debbie Powers come?
2 days ago, I believe, still on my phone. I could tell you if you like.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss them.
So around
I
May
didn't get the email or something.
I didn't either.
14th, 13th.
I,
I don't have to go in my mailbox to see if there's a pink slip.
It was Monday or
Sticker in
it
there.
was yesterday,
Oh, it was just yesterday.
yesterday morning.
I'm gonna go pick it up.
Okay, thank you.
Serve me.
Yeah,
Nothing good ever comes certified.
No,
You're looking for a motion to.
Man, never
to-
go with it.
Adjourn.
no, exactly.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Third.
all in favor?
I.
Aye.
Okay,
See you,
thanks.
Gail. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail.
Sitting.
Thank you, Mr. Gates.
Thank you, Mr. Gates.
Thank you.
So Jim,